Hi everybody, I'm back, and this time I'm going to do a video. This is a tutorial video. My sweet friend Sherry asked me if I would do a video to show her how I put my book together. Now, I explained to her that, there are lots of videos out there, but she wanted to see how I had put mine together. So I guess that way she can compare and she can decide which method she wants to use. She said she was looking for a way to put the book together as easy as she could make it. And this particular book is pretty easy the way I put it together. And I won't claim to say that it's the right way or the wrong way of doing things. It's just something that I came up with, and I'm also going to say I'm not the one that maybe even came up with this idea first, but I haven't seen anybody put a book together this way, so I'll just leave it at that. And I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, because if they have put together something like this, I just haven't seen it, and I definitely would like to give credit to people, where the credit is due. So this particular book, as I mentioned in the video where I showed this particular book, it's done by using Jeanette, and her YouTube channel name is Scrappin' Happy XO. I used her method to put this book together. And I just want to do a quick comparison so Sherry can see the difference between the two. And if you're not into how to put these books together and you're not interested, please click off so you won't waste your time watching this tutorial. But this book has gussets between every page. And the gussets are ½ inch deep, and they're used, to allow a little bit of space between your pages to put your embellishments. And so with the gussets, it will also make your spine thicker, because every page will add ½ inch, right? So your spine is going to get wider and wider. So if you look at the spine on this book, it's quite wide. It's probably, 4 inches across. And by adding the gussets, what it does for you is your spine width almost equals the opening of your book, the width on that part. And so it ends up giving you a book that's, it's pretty even, it's pretty uniform as far as the thickness across the spine and the thickness across the opening. Whereas this book is put together totally different. This one does not give you the gussets between every page. It only has one gusset in the middle of the book. And if you look at the spine here, it's only about 2 inches wide. Even though the book is wider, thicker, the spine is only that wide. And then when you look at it from the top, you can see that this is the width of the spine, but look how much wider the book is across the opening. So you end up basically with this kind of an effect in this book. This would be the ends of my hands here would be where the spine is at, and then this opening, this area up here with my fingertips, is the opening of the book. And so you end up with that kind of an effect. So it's just, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's just the look that you'll get and what you're going for. And I'll also show you in here that you get more of a book type effect where your pages are just seamed together with no gusset. Like in the other book, it's hard for me to show you the gussets because the fabric is so dark. But in the other book, you'll actually have 2 stitch lines, and there'll be ½ inch between the stitching lines, and that's what gives you the space to add all your embellishments inside. So that's just a quick lesson on the difference between the two. So now I'll get into showing you how I put this book together. Let me get these out of the way. Now, depending, Sherry, on the pages, the size of the pages and how many pages you're going to put in your book. For this example, I cut these pages at 7 inch in a 7-inch square, so 7 inches by 7 inches. And I have them pinned together here, but I want to take it apart and show you what's going on. I just bought some muslin, and I think I got this at Hobby Lobby. You can get it at Joann's. You can even get it at Walmart if they have a fabric section at Walmart. And this is pretty thin. This muslin is thin enough to run through my printer, so I can actually print photos on this. But the muslin does come in different thicknesses. And so just depending on how much weight you want in your pages, it doesn't really matter. So just pick one. It's really not that important. And you're also going to want something in between in each of your pages. So I picked out this quilted fabric here, and I'm pretty sure you can get this at Walmart too. And it's not stiff, but it does have some weight to it. It's not real flimsy. And so it will add a nice texture, thickness to your pages without making them really heavy. But you can, if you don't have this and you already have felt, you can use that. If you have quilt batting, you can use that. You can even use fleece if you've got that. So anything that you want to put in between the two pieces of muslin. And then what you're going to do, everything will be cut at the same size. So in this case, 7 by 7 inches all the way around. Now, in this example, my pieces aren't cut exactly. This filler that I've got in the middle, this quilted piece, is actually too short. It should have been cut a little bit wider, but it was just a scrap, and I just wanted to grab it to use as an example to show you here. So basically, you'll just sandwich together your two pieces of muslin and whatever filler you choose to put in the middle. And then if you want to glue this together, you can, or you can stitch it. And I stitched mine. You'll see my pages in just a second, but I just did a zigzag stitch all the way around on the outside edges there. And that's what you'll do for every page that you have. So if you're doing 6 pages, you're going to cut 12 of these and did I say 6 pages? 12 of these and 6 of these. So let me show you what I have here for my pages. Okay, I have already sewn these together, and I have 6 of them. And the reason I did an even number is that's just the way I want my book to be. If you want an uneven number of pages, you can certainly do that. So what I will do is I will have 3 pages for my front section and 3 pages for my back section. And what I mean by that, let me show you in the book. In this book, there are 3 pages, 1, 2, 3, and then there's the middle section. This is what I'm calling my gusset. So, and then there's 3 more pages. Okay? So, what we're going to do is we will glue these together right along the stitching where I did my stitching there. So if you chose to glue it, that's fine. You'll just glue it as close to the edge as you can. And you'll do that for 3 of them there and then 3 of them here. So let me do that. I'll just put a little bit of glue right here. Oops. Press that down. And then a little bit more glue here. Press that down, and then a little bit more there. Okay, and then we'll do a little bit there. I'm just going to do this real quick. I mean, you would do this certainly a lot better than I'm doing it, but and then a little bit more here, and then a little bit more right there. Okay, so we've got the 3 of them together, right? So there's your first 3 pages. And then we'll do the same thing for the last 3 pages here. Just get them lined up as best we can. And then put a little bit of glue right there. And then a little bit more right there. And then so on. Okay. And then we'll put a little bit more there. So we can add this page. Okay, I didn't get those very even. And then a little bit more there. And there. Okay. All right. And then we got all these silly spider webs everywhere. Okay. So now you've got your 3 sections there. Okay. Then after you've got that done, then the next thing you're going to do is your spine. So what I did for my spine has chipboard in it. So I took a piece of chipboard that I cut at 6.5 by 1 inch. So you want it to be a little bit shorter than your pages. See, it's a little bit shorter on each end there. And then I just took some scraps of this quilted fabric and I cut this at 7 inches by 2.5. And what you're going to do is stitch or glue the ends, the open edges, just like if you were going to sew it, you would sew it down there or glue it, and then go across that end and across that end, and leave one of the ends open. So you're going to stitch or glue all of these edges closed. And if you leave this end open, you'll be able to slide your chipboard piece right down inside like that. And just push it all the way down until you get to the bottom. You're either going to hit your stitching or your glue, and then you would stitch it closed across the top. So basically what you've done is just sandwiched your piece of chipboard inside of your fabric there. So what you'll end up with is this. And you're going to make 2 of these, and it's pretty sturdy. So this will be your spine, and I have 2 of them. So now the next thing that you're going to do is take these, the ones that you glued together, take that end, and you're going to glue it right on the edge of your stitching right there. So let's do that. Okay, and we'll put that right there like that. Then glue the rest of it. Finish that side there. Okay, and then you'll do the same thing for the other side. These are your 3 that are glued together, and you're going to glue those right there on that edge. Okay, so let's glue that there. Okay, then we'll finish this edge there. Okay, and there you go. So let's get rid of the spider webs there. So your book is put together pretty much. That's it. So, and now you've got a nice stiff back. If that chipboard wasn't in there, you know, it would bend in half just like that. So it just gives you a sturdier spine. That's the only reason I put that chipboard in there. And the reason for the second piece is because now you have a little bit of a gully, a little bit of a dip, a little hole right here. And so I didn't like that, and so that's why I made the second piece, and you would glue that in place right there. One other thing I wanted to say is if you wait and you don't glue this piece in until the very end, you have the opportunity to go and add more pages if you want. So let's say that you start decorating, because you certainly can right now. You're at the point where you can decorate. There's your front cover, and then you know you can start decorating all of your pages. And then what if you decided when you get to the middle here, I think I want to add 2 more pages. You can certainly make 2 more and then glue them in, and then put in your final piece, and you would just glue it in place right there. And if you don't like these raw edges, they're really not going to show, because if you're going to lay a piece of lace across there, I mean, who's going to see that? See, you're not going to see those raw edges at all. Or if you're going to put, for instance, let me grab a doily. If you were going to put a doily in there, you know, put your lace down first and put your doily in there, you're definitely not going to see those raw edges. So it's really, if it just bothers you and you want to make it neater, then you could cover your chipboard in using some of the muslin and then, wrap it around and glue it so that the seam is in the back so that you won't have these raw edges. But like I said, it's really not going to show, so I don't think that that's going to really matter. But so that's it, Sherry. That's all there is to putting that book together. I mean, that's pretty easy and simple. And if you have any questions at all, just you know how to contact me, and I can certainly help you through it with whatever questions you have. And I also want to say that Sherry doesn't do YouTube videos yet. I'm hoping, because we've had this conversation, we didn't think that either one of us would ever do it. And then look at me, here I am now, and I actually love doing the videos. And I'm so appreciative of everybody that's watching. And I really do enjoy it. And so it's a lot of fun, and it's a nice way to meet people. And so maybe one day Sherry will venture out and do videos. But for now, she does have a Pinterest page, and she has pictures of all the beautiful things that she's made. Sherry is such an inspiration to me. She is so talented, and gosh, I just love seeing everything that she does. And I can't wait to see her book once she's got it finished, because I know it's going to be fabulous. But this is her Pinterest page, and just look for the board that's titled Her Creations, and you'll get a glimpse of some of the things that she does. But so I guess that's it for now, and I hope I didn't bore anybody with my simple method here. But so have fun, Sherry. Can't wait to see your finished product. And everybody else, take care. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.